is a delay.
Yeah, yeah, significant.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Joe Longo.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Good Neighbor Podcast Live. I'm Joe Longo, and are you in need of some knowledge on how to build real value with your current assets? Well, I have a treat for you today, my friends. Today, I get to share our good neighbor, Christine Callesen of Be Real Assets. Christine, thank you so much for being here with us today. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great, Joe. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I really appreciate you making the time to chat with us. And we're going to jump right into things. We're excited to
Let's
learn
do it.
all about Be Real. Could you tell us a little bit about Be Real and what your company does?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Be Real was founded because I really do feel that part of my mission in life is to just be real with people. And then I found out there's this great opportunity for me to be real with my assets. And that's where Be Real Assets came. And what I do is I partner with company 7K Metals and Sound Money. And we actually give people value to access gold and silver in a way that's simple, flexible, and actually doable, especially in today's economy when money's tight. Whether people want to do collectible coins or buying fractionally at a full ounce price, we have something for everybody. And it's really my passion to teach people about the other asset classes we can invest in.
That's wonderful. How did you get into this business?
Well, I'm an interpreter by trade. So I have always loved communicating with people and I always love understanding new pieces of our community. And so one day I just happened to stumble across this through some friends of mine that I was interpreting for. And I really saw how people were struggling in today's world to just get by. And saving money was not even an option. So when I stumbled onto gold and silver, I really found my niche and I found a way for me to help people remove those huge barriers. And it just made sense. Really, they call it God's money. And that's what it is. This is not about getting rich. This is just about being stable.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it's such a great thing that we all need, right? Just can we be stable? And
Yeah.
in this time that we're currently in, I'm wondering what are some of the myths or misconceptions maybe about the gold and silver industry?
The biggest myth is I can't afford it.
Hmm.
People think of gold and silver as those are for the rich people. And really, it's actually for everybody. With the Sound Money wallet that I work with, I buy fractional gold every single day. I buy $1, $10, $50, $100. It doesn't matter what your budget is. You can buy at the same piece and not at the same price point as if you were buying a full ounce. And that's industry breaking, right? This doesn't happen in the industry. And the company that I work with, Sound Money, has actually broke the mold and is allowing people to do that. So it's really for everyone. It's not just for the rich.
It really does seem very accessible for, pardon the pun, the average Joe out there that wants to get in. Because at the beginning, I instantly said, "Well, I have to buy a whole block of gold. How would I do that?"
No. Yeah, you can actually buy a whole block of gold if you would like, or you could buy it, like I said, fractionally. So we have a wallet you would be able to access. And you know what the great thing about this wallet and the company is that they have allowed people to get a free membership. So the first 500 that you buy, $500 that you buy, you don't even have to pay storage fees. You can just actually play around and figure out what you like about it. And then once you get to the $500 price point, then you pay the one-time membership fee. It's amazing. It really is. It's changed my life.
So we all know marketing as the part of every business. I'm wondering, how are you attracting customers? Who is that target customer, and how are you bringing them in to even just start educating them on this?
One thing I believe at Be Real Assets is that I am not a high pressure sales girl. I've never been that person that liked people pressuring me to buy anything. So what I do is I just share. And I think by me just being me, People come to me and they want me to tell them what I know. And that's the Be Real way, where I am constantly respectful. I'm empathetic to the plights of people every day, whether it be financial, whether it be a family. I'm authentic. I'm who I am. You're not going to get anybody else. I hold myself accountable to my customers and by really guiding them through the process of buying gold and silver. And so I think by just being me, I attract customers and I don't do anything fancy.
You know, Christine, you really do have a way about you in exactly what you said about just being real. And I'm curious, have you ever thought about being real behind a microphone and having a podcast and sharing your knowledge about this?
I actually have. I've thought about it, and I actually have someone I've worked with in the past who has encouraged me to really step out into that area. I really don't have an avenue, so maybe you could help me with that.
Interesting. Maybe we can. Maybe we can. So with the gold and the silver, what do you do outside of gold and silver for fun? What brings you joy, Christine?
Okay, well, let me tell you. What I really like to do is I love to work. I'm an interpreter and I love interpreting. I love spending time with my family, and I really have found this new niche where I love to crochet. I mean, who would have thought I would have picked up a habit like this? But it's now my new guilty pleasure, and I crochet all the time.
Oh, it sounds very relaxing as well. If you if you can, could you tell our listeners one thing that you would want them to remember about you and Be Real Assets?
With me and Be Real Assets and my team, we are no pressure, right? I'm here to talk to you, get to know what you want, what I can give you, what I can share with you, and that's it. If you take my advice and you take my guidance, fantastic. If you don't, no harm, no foul. I'm just here to be a good neighbor to my community, to be a good neighbor to my world, and to share the value of God's money, gold, and silver.
Ah, that's wonderful. And can you tell our listeners where can they learn more about you and Be Real Assets?
Sure. You guys can send me an email at info@berealassets.com, or you can also go and check out our company, sound.money, /Be Real Assets. And you can learn all about the value of sound money and where your money is secure with gold and silver.
That's great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being on the show and sharing your knowledge and your wisdom with everyone. From everyone here at the Good Neighbor Podcast, we wish you all of the success moving forward.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpnepa.com. That's gnpnepa.com. Or call 570-908-4334.